'cause we don't know the hour or the day. Time is such a gift, try and control your destiny. We don't know the hour or the day. Unity is strength, let's stand as one without delay. 'Cause no bad vibe me a chant. Me no want no bad vibe me a chant. I just peace the times all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a chant. No bad vibe me a chant. Say me no want no bad vibe me a chant. I just peace the time all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a chant.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Deaf Taught Us How to Live sub-series of AVM Awareness Month. Each year in October is AVM Awareness, and this is probably like the best time of year for me because I like to bring other people that had or have AVMs and bring awareness to the world about our condition. So you don't just think it's just the AVM superhero out here by himself. I want you guys to actually hear it from other people's mouths. But I come to you in a somber moment because this particular episode is going to be pretty rough for me. Last week I lost my my closest and friend, my big brother. When I had my AVM rupture, I came back to New York. People didn't really associate me with me because a lot of times I didn't make a lot of sense or I was just out of it. He always made sure he came in and found me. So I just want to give a moment of silence and also dedicate this particular episode to my brother, Cool Richard Oates. Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this because this is what he wanted me to do. He always was motivated to hear about stroke survivors, AVM. So without any further ado, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that he is represented each and every step that I take. But without any further ado, let's get to our show. Our show is about AVM awareness. And without any further ado, we have a AVM survivor. She is a young lady that does a lot of advocacy inside of the AVM awareness world. And she is also an AVM survivor herself. I just want to bring her to the stage. Her name is Morgan Leigh. So let's introduce and make sure you guys pay attention and ask great questions to my friend, my little sister, Morgan Leigh. Morgan, how you doing, sis?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit about you. I think everybody wants to know a little bit about you. First of all, that camera is just beautiful on you. You're just making that camera look so gorgeous. I love what you're doing with it. But
Thank you.
I know this is AVM Awareness Month, and I know this is like, I guess, a bad reason to know each other. But the reason we do know each other is because of this condition. I want to know about how you are involved in this and why do you care about anything when it comes to AVM. So please let us know who you are.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Morgan, and I am an AVM and stroke survivor. So, I was goofing off when I was 18 and I was in theater class and I got pulled off of the stage. And I went to the nurse's office. Everything looked good. She said, "You're good. You're fine." And the next morning I woke up and I ran into a wall. So my entire right side was numb. And after going back to the nurse's office and uh, having her take me to the hospital, going to a few different hospitals, I ended up down at Barrows Neurological Institute. And that's where they told me that I have an AVM, an arteriovenous malformation, and it has 3 brain aneurysms. And they're located within my thalamus, which is deep within the center of your brain. And there was nothing they could do. So they told me to just go live life. And So that's what I was doing up until it was 2021, and I was getting ready to go to law school. And I told my best friend, I said, I don't feel good. Um, and after that, I don't remember a month where I had a craniotomy, which is brain surgery. I underwent gamma knife, which is uh, radio surgery, I think. Um, and so that's been kind of taking up my life, everything that I've been doing. I underwent PT, physical therapy, OT, occupational therapy, and speech therapy for over a year, like it was my job, which it pretty much was. And I now work at the Sedona Heritage Museum, which is a place I used to volunteer at, but I now work in their gift shop a few days a week, which is amazing. I get to work there and I get to most of all be an AVM awareness advocate. So that's my
It's an
story.
interesting story. So you seem like you do a lot of things, and it happens to be not a coincidence. It's supposed to be on purpose. It's supposed to happen.
Listen
This
to
is
the
already giving me the
sound.
sound that people want to talk to you or give you some kind of comment. So let's bring them onto the screen before I get started with the show. We have Donna Dunkley's
Okay.
and condolences, my friend. May his soul rest in peace. I thank you, Miss Dunkley. Is there anything
Thank
else? No. Okay. So Morgan, it seemed like you're in right places at the right time, and no pun intended, but it seems like you know what you're doing within your life. Like you're very purposeful. So you was volunteering at a particular place, and now you actually work there full time. Are you still going to law school, or
you.
are you done with that?
I'm not going to law school anymore. My life kind of did a complete 180. Um, I wanted to go to law school because I graduated with my bachelor's degree in forensic psychology. So I wanted to go to law school to do criminal law, um, and now that isn't my focus at all. My focus is really inspirational speaking. It's much more positive. So,
And that's just amazing. Like with a lot of the people that I speak to that have AVM injuries, they have a life shift as well. And I don't know if it's just something that's happening inside of our brain that makes us be more focused on what we're going to do in life, or it's just
yeah.
fear of dying without doing anything in life. What do you think
Yeah.
it is for you?
I think for I have this saying that I go by. It's like YOLO, which stands for you only live once, except my saying is YOLT, which is you only live twice. Um, and I mean, you only live once. That's the whole point. It's like we just have to live our lives. I have this tattoo on my arm that I got a few years after my stroke. Um, but it says alive because I'm alive. I'm lucky to be alive. 50% of people with ruptured aneurysms pass away. Like 50%, that's a lot. So I think we need to just live. We need to live our best lives.
I got a couple of questions with that. I like that statistic. I'm glad you
Yeah.
dropped that on us. But the tattoo, is that on your
Mhm.
affected side?
Yeah,
And
it
how did that
is.
feel actually getting that tattoo on your affected side?
Um, it actually, I was nervous because I thought it was gonna hurt way more, but it actually didn't hurt at all,
Really?
at all.
Really?
Yeah,
Because I always thought
yeah,
about getting
it
a
was weird.
tattoo on my affected side, but then I was like, "Yeah, I'm pins and needles all the time. I don't know why I want to do that." But
I know, that's what I
hmm,
thought too, but, it didn't hurt really at all.
okay. So Yolt, you say you only live twice. You know, I used
Mhm.
to think that, or I don't used to. I still think that I'm like, I feel like when this happened to me, I had a rebirth and I have a new birthday. I'm not 49 years old. I'm like 7 years old or 8 years old because when my AVM ruptured, that's when I started living a different life. Um, with that mentality, do people understand who you are and do they reflect back to say, okay, you used to be this particular person and why can't you be that same person again? Or you don't have that issue at all?
I think m people who are close to me, who were close to me before my stroke, are people that love me and say whatever she needs to do. I mean, of course, I lost some people, when I had my stroke, but really it's they just embrace it.
I'm so sorry. I'm going back and forth to
No,
different
it's okay.
places. So we have some comments on Instagram. I'm going to read them out over here because they don't transfer over.
Oh,
So
okay.
just give me a second while I go to the Instagram and read those actual comment. I have a comment from Vincent, and he is saying this. He said, considering your background in law and your newfound sense of purpose, would you consider doing social policy stuff?
You know, I've thought about it, um, and I'm still considering it, um, but I think the actual going to law school would be way too, cognitively overwhelming for me, um, but I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
Okay, I have another question. So let me go back over there and pull it up for you. This is from Diana. Hello, Morgan, fellow AVM Rupture Warrior. She's saying hello to you.
Hi.
Um, so I'm very curious about this. We talk about this AVM, arteriovenous malformation, and people don't really understand what that is
Mhm.
because a lot of times they get confused and say, okay, is it like an aneurysm? Like, yeah, I guess you could put it that way, but can you really break down what this is and why it's so important for people to understand what it is?
Yeah. So I think that, well, first off, they are super rare. Only 18 in 100,000 people have an AVM. So they're super rare. When I found out that I had an AVM, I was like, what? What is this thing that I have? So it's a cluster. It could be anywhere in your body. It could be in your brain, in your spine, in your leg. It could be anywhere. And it's a cluster of arteries and veins. So mine has 3 brain aneurysms. There are people that just have 2, 4 brain aneurysms. So that's kind of what it is. I think that they, meaning the doctors, the research people, they don't really know much about them because there isn't a lot of research. Um, so yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for actually breaking that down because it is very interesting because I go to new doctors all the time because I travel a lot
Yeah.
and I tell them I had an AVM and as soon as I say that, they just put down their clipboard and now they become the student. They want me to teach them about it because it's like
Mhm.
seeing, a leprechaun's pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You never thought you actually see it. Now you actually see it in real life, and they're so intrigued by it. So I am,
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you mean. It's like even the doctors don't know because it's not that common. Uh, but
Mm-mm.
can you go a little bit further because I think because I'm hearing this word aneurysm, and I don't think people really understand the true difference between just the cluster that you're talking about, and then the aneurysm that could happen afterwards. Can you explain that to people so they can really understand why this is so important? Because, like you said, it can happen anywhere in your body. There's some people that have it on their face, and it's protruding out of their face.
Mhm.
There's some people that have it on their
Yeah.
spine, and this is affecting how they walk. or how they talk or how they think. And people don't understand the difference though, of that slight nuance of, okay, here's an aneurysm, but this AVM is something a little bit different. Can you jump into that a little bit
Yeah.
more?
Yes. So my understanding is that a aneurysm, um, which can happen to anyone, um, is a like balloon like structure, and an aneurysm can burst at any point. An AVM can also burst at any point, but it's a cluster of veins and arteries. It happens typically in utero, but that's kind of the difference. Um, they happen to aneurysms happen to 1 out of 50 people. Like that's a that's a common thing. AVMs happen to 18 in 100,000 people. So that's where you can see the difference.
Okay, that thank you for clarifying that for us, because a lot of people don't
Yeah.
understand that. Because for me, I never knew. Like, you knew after you had that fall off the stage, correct? You knew you had an AVM.
Yes.
Like, I didn't
Mhm. But
know.
there was nothing. Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but there was nothing that they could
Right.
do
But you
about
you
it.
knew there was something
No.
going on with you. Like, some of
Yep.
us, like myself, I didn't know. It was 41 years that I had this inside of me, and then one day I go to a hospital and they say, "Oh, you had a stroke." I'm like, "Oh, I had an aneurysm." No, you didn't have a necessary aneurysm. You had an AVM and it ruptured. I'm like, "Oh, okay. What is this?" So
Yeah.
now I got to go into research. But the people that was around me, they didn't understand this at all. So they kept on
Yeah.
treating it like an aneurysm. And the reason why I'm saying this like this is because I know there were certain things that in my life that was affecting my thoughts, my concentration, my focus was off a lot throughout my whole entire life. And there was no explanation.
Yeah.
But once this happened, I'm like, oh, this makes
Yeah.
sense. And people
Yeah. It
and people
does.
used to fight me based off of like, oh, you doing this, you doing. I'm like, I don't mean to do. I thought this was normal. I thought you guys had the same type of issues too.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm so adamant to actually bringing this information back out to people, because yes, it's a brain bleed. Yes, it could be anywhere in your body, but a lot of people are going through life that have this, being affected
Yep.
of their speech. Some people have stuttering issues. Some people can't figure out how to say things in conversations, but they know how to say it in their brain.
Like, my
Go ahead.
yeah, my aphasia, like, when I was in, inpatient rehab, my aphasia, which is the loss or mix-up of words, was, like, horrible. I would say I have to go to the bathroom for "I'm hungry." So my words were all jumbled up, all messed up. So I totally get it. Speech therapy did wonders for me, but I totally get what you're saying.
So, since you do get what I'm saying, what do you say for people that have an AVM and or they had an AVM and it's been removed, and you know people look at them and say, you used to do a lot of bad to me, and the person that had the AVM say, well, I didn't mean to do it. How do you explain to their loved ones, their spouses, their family, that none of this was on purpose? A lot of it was because of the AVM. Not to be saying, hey, I'm not trying to take responsibility, but the facts are the facts. What do you say to people like that?
I would say that people need kindness, especially when they have a disability. Um, they need to be met with kindness. I think that that people you don't understand what a person's going through unless you're that person. Um, so I just think to meet everyone with kindness.
All right, so now you're bringing up something. I love how you transition from one topic to another topic. You do the interviewing process very well. I love it. But now we're talking about understanding people with disabilities, and a lot of times these
Mhm,
disabilities are invisible disabilities, and
mhm.
people around you don't understand how to deal with you because they try to treat you like someone that doesn't have a disability. And what we're doing, it's like that duck on the water. It looks calm on the surface, but underneath it look like complete chaos. It's
Crazy.
craziness. So,
Yeah.
can you go a little bit further in that? Because I want you to make them understand. Because I'm looking at you now, I'm like, man, you look like a supermodel. But you saying to yourself, like, yeah, thank you, but I do have I have some deficits that you can't see because I'm hiding them very well. What do you say to people like
Yeah.
that look at you like, well, you had a stroke? You don't look like you had a stroke.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And how do you want people to actually articulate that kind of conversation with you?
So, I get that a lot, actually. Um, where I work at the Sedona Heritage Museum, I will be checking people out, and I wear a hand brace, that my OT made for me, and they'll say, "Oh, did you hurt your wrist?" Or, "Oh, what'd you do to your finger?" Or, whatever, and I go, "I had a stroke," and their face completely changes, and I wanna shout it from the rooftops. This is what an AVM is, you know, because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know what it was when I found out I had it, and so I just think that people need to know. They need to know. So I think being loud about it and getting the word out there is so, so, so important.
Okay, you saying something very big now. So, in other words, we're not trying to milk it for all it's worth. We're just trying to make sure that
Mhm,
people understand that this is not a
mhm,
gimmick. This is not a ploy to try to get attention. This is real life situation. So I know we're
yes.
tickling around this, we're playing around this, but I know you do a lot of advocacy. Can you mention
Mhm.
the organization that you deal with and what you do with them?
Yeah, so I was volunteering, um, for an organization called the Aneurysm and AVM Foundation, TAF, um, prior to my stroke. I was working for their, kids section of TAF, and I was doing, like, their social media and stuff like that, when I had my stroke. So TAF is an amazing organization, um, where I mean, because really there aren't many organizations or nonprofits for AVMs. So TAF is an amazing organization. They actually have uh, a annual walk, which I couldn't go to this year, but I'm hoping next year I can go, where you just get to see and meet and hear from everyone who's there who's had a stroke, has an AVM, has an aneurysm. So it's amazing to hear from them. And it's just an awesome organization.
I know I'll be leaving you out there like, Greg, come back. I'm sorry. But I'll be having so much information coming in. So we have some people on Instagram that wants to say a little thing about what we're talking about throughout the show. So let's talk about what they're
Yeah.
saying. Give me a second to pull up the
Okay.
information. And this is Vincent again. He's talking about the time that we're talking about people are shocked when they see things that they're like, oh, you're a stroke survivor. So anyhow, supervillain IG said people say that about me when they see my AFO. AFO is something that helps them walk. And also we have Molly
Mhm.
O'Leary. She was on our show a little bit earlier, but she's an AVM survivor as well. She said today is my 5th anniversary. Happy birthday, Molly.
Woo!
So
Yes.
blessed to be here and to meet so many lovely people. And supervillain Vincent is actually saying this again. Taft Walk is on my bucket list to go to.
It is amazing. It's amazing.
Cool. All right,
Yeah.
Morgan. So with all that volunteering, and I guess like you just be in the right places in the right time because you volunteering at a place now you work at now. You was volunteering before you had a stroke
Mhm.
with TAF, and now you had a stroke, and now this is more prevalent than anything else. What else are you
Mhm.
doing within your life to actually bring advocacy out there for people to understand what an AVM is or aneurysm?
So I really just try and get myself out there, whether it be on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I just finished writing a book, a memoir, that is going to come out on October 18th on Amazon called Stroke Warrior. And I really poured my heart and soul into this book. I feel like there aren't many books out there about AVMs. Um, Maybe research books, but nothing of, memoir stuff. But I'm trying to think of what else I do. Um, hmm. I I do a lot of like Zoom calls or I meet up with a lot of people, who've had strokes or have AVMs. Um, so yeah.
See, I left you out there in the cold again. So we have,
I know.
so Molly said that she went to the actual TAF Walk a couple of weeks back. So and, and Vincent's
Yeah,
going back over there and say, "Oh my goodness, he wish he was there too." Um,
I
but
know.
I asked this question because I was on this call on one of these social media with actually Vincent, and I asked a question, and I'm posing the same question to you. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you really want to do with this AVM awareness? Because I know for me, um, I don't really know anything about AVMs, to be honest. I don't. I'm a survivor. I'm not a medical student. I don't
Mhm.
have a medical degree in any type of medicine.
Yeah.
But I am, and what you said with your memoirs, I'm very intrigued by that. I want to read it. But I am more concerned about this. Deaf taught us how to live, teaching people how to get over their insecurities and live life again. Like you said, you not YOLO is yoked. You live twice. You only live
Yep.
twice, so you want to make sure that second life is something that's very productive. And I try to show people that through these interviews, through what I put on social media. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask you the question again. What do you really want to get out of your advocacy? I know it's you want people to understand what AVM is, but there is something else after that that you want them to understand. What is that actual information?
I would love to do inspirational speaking. That is my end goal. I would love to do TED Talks, podcasts, um, whatever I can do to get out there what an AVM is. Um, I That's what I want to do. I want to get this information out there to where people are talking about it. Like, I want people to know what an arteriovenous malformation is. And yeah.
No, that's pretty interesting because if you go back to, and I wasn't around that time, so don't act like I'm saying this like I know from firsthand experience. But you go back 67 years, people didn't really talk about cancer
Yeah.
that much. They didn't understand what it is. They used to, and I don't know if you could talk to your parents or your grandparents about it. They used to have um, billboards and also commercials of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now that's completely illegal in the United States, but they didn't understand the
Yep.
connection, the correlation between it. But now there's so much information about cancer and, what is cancer, what is breast cancer, what is lung cancer, all different types of cancer there. It's not taboo anymore. So is that what you're trying to do
Mm-mm.
with AVMs and strokes? You want people to understand what it is completely?
Yes. It's like if I could have a huge billboard and say what an AVM is, that would be great. I My speech therapist had me, because when I started speech therapy, he would have me name as many animals as I could, and I would, like, sit there and I would say, "Dog?" Like, I could not think of animals, and over the course of the time that I spent there, he taught me be fast, which stands for balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. So those are like the stroke warning signs. So if I could have a billboard that had like be fast, this is what an AVM is, I would totally do it. I would have the billboard everywhere.
Okay, I get it. We got some more information coming in from Instagram, so let me go over there and read it to you.
Okay.
Give me a second. All right, we have Supervillain again. He's talking about he'll definitely get your book. So once you get it out, make sure you post it out there so he can get it because he said he's ready to read it.
Thank
And we have
you.
this one
Aw.
named Galen Ray. Morgan is one of the strongest women I know. She knows how to make the best out of any situation. I've always said that Morgan will go down in history. Wow.
That's my best
Okay. Did
friend.
I say that
So,
person's name right?
Galen,
Oh,
yep, you did.
all right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
That
That's
was
cool. That's
good.
cool. So with that being said, you want to have billboards with this, and I personally, and I don't know if this is the wrong move, but it to me was the right move. And I see that you do it too. You say your handles is living with the AVM, right? Like my handle is AVM
Mhm.
Superhero. I don't really want people to know my name. I don't care about my name, but I want, and you don't know how many people have found me just because I have AVM in my name. And that's the reason why I did it, because
Yeah,
it's not about me. I want people to understand that I am out here. I'm going to be living my life, and you want to see how that could be done as an AVM survivor? Here it is. It's going to be
yep,
harder for you to find my
yep,
full name, but it'll be easier for you to find something with AVM in it. Is that the same logic you had?
yes, yep. I mean, like, people have reached out to me on TikTok or, especially TikTok, but saying like, "Hey, I
Listen
was
to my
thinking of,
sound.
like, what's an AVM?" I have an AVM or whatever, they're searching on TikTok and my video will pop up. And then they go and they watch all my videos, and it's just awesome to talk to people about it because there are so many people who have an AVM, and either they can't do anything about it because their doctor said they shouldn't do anything about it, or I say like get a third opinion, a fourth opinion. Like, you need to see all of the people because a lot of doctors don't have knowledge of this, of what an AVM
I
is.
got you. Well, my producer played her sound, so she's probably chomping at the bit to get the message out onto the screen. So I want to get back to that thought a little bit. So please remind me if I forget. So, producer, can you bring
Yeah.
up on the screen what you want to show us? Donna Dunkley said, "It is so nice of you to want to make people aware of AVMs. For me, I am so grateful to you all. Thank guys. Continue the good work." Thank you, Miss Dunkley.
Well,
Is anybody else out there?
thank you.
I guess not, because I don't see anything else on the screen. Um, I see. I forgot my thought of it. What we was talking about? See, That's the same thing as
Oh,
that. But I do, I do,
I'm like,
and that
uh,
and what you said is kind of interesting for me, and I
mhm.
want you to give me your thoughts on it. In the third, second,
Yeah.
fourth opinion, for me, I can tell if someone is lying to me now. I could tell if they don't really want to be around me now. But I have a
Mhm.
very strong thing about people that know what they're talking about. Once you start talking to me and everything is lining up, I believe you. So I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
same thing that you have.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, uh, I don't want like, people who are lying to me or doing whatever, I'm just like, I don't have time
Right,
for that,
right.
you know? It's I don't know. I just don't have time for it.
I get that. So to compound the question that I'm trying to articulate to is that when I do get medical advice from people, if I feel that it is
Mhm,
right, I don't second
mhm,
guess it. I don't get that second or third opinion. I go with it. Now, how do
mm.
you like what is the litmus test that you will actually tell another survivor that they need to get that third or fourth opinion, even if they feel that that person is right?
Even if you feel that that person is right, um, but maybe they said they can't do surgery or, the Gamma knife or something, uh, that's where I would always get a second or third opinion, is if they can't do anything, you know? So because the worst thing that happens is they say, maybe it's the second or third doctor you've seen, and they say, "No, the first doctor you saw was correct. We can't do the surgery." I just think it's so important to see other
So
doctors.
what I'm hearing from you is that get a second or third opinion when someone tells you no, that can't be done. Okay, I
Mhm.
can go with that.
Yep.
We got some more people on Instagram is coming in, so let me see what they're saying and let you have any kind of follow back for them. So we have this person,
Okay.
San Jax. This is Sandra. I love Sandra. I wish she could get on my show. Sandra, if you're listening, you're supposed to listen and go back to my direct messages and get on my show. I don't know why you be hiding from me. But anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. Morgan, you've been such a loud and wonderful advocate for people learning about AVMs.
Oh, thank you.
You have, and I've been watching. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been watching you for a very long time, and I'm like, well, this is a very interesting young lady. I'm very happy that she's part of our team, and it's like it's a happy and sadness because I don't like anybody to have this condition, but I'm so happy that people
Mhm.
are there in the position to actually help out other people that are not able to do things.
Yeah,
Now, how do
totally.
you feel when you see other people that have more deficits in you? Does that affect you, or do you feel like you should have more, or what goes through your mind with that?
I think that I am so grateful to be where I am. When I see people with other or more difficult deficits than me, I'm just like, "Thank you, God, for where I'm at." And because, of course, my right side doesn't work, so I can't write anymore, I can't but one day, I'm going to be able to write. And that's just what I keep telling myself. I'm like, "One day, I am going to be able to write, I am going to be able to walk without drop foot." I I just keep telling myself all of these positive affirmations that I know that one day I will get there, and I will be 100% better, 110% better.
And I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I was very intrigued on your answer, and I really appreciate what you have said. And I'm the same way as you are, but the
Mhm.
difference that and I'm not saying the difference between me and you is just the difference of the way I look at that type of situation is, um, I'm very detached from my body now. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is that I'm 6'3". I could work out like a monster, but my balance is off, my coordination is off, but I
Yeah.
could lift weights. But I'm not really attached to this body anymore. It's very weird. And the connection that I have with other AVM survivors, no matter what type of condition they're in, it's more of a mental and spiritual connection. It's like we're on a different plane than most other people on this earth.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I don't, and I hear you say, you're going to get stronger, you're going to do this. I look at that, but and I don't know if it's selfish of me. I just don't think about that anymore. Morgan, I really don't. I just think
Yeah.
about, oh, this is a beautiful person spiritually that I'm talking to right now, and I love being around them. And before I
Yeah.
couldn't see that. And I feel sorry for people that haven't gone through this that can't see those things. That's what I now.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, are you more spiritual now, or are you just been spiritual all your life? Like, how's this actually affected you and changed your thought process?
Um, I think it has completely shifted my thought process. I have to look at things through a positive outlook now. I used to do a blood pattern analysis, so I would travel around the country um, with a lady who was teaching cops and forensic personnel blood pattern analysis. So that's what I was doing while I was finishing up school and starting law school. So it's kind of like crazy where I'm at now. I just I look at myself through this very positive outlook. I of course I have crappy days. Everyone has crappy days, but the next morning I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm positive, all things good. So I think it's definitely brought me closer to God, source, whatever. I feel like I have to be I'm so grateful for whoever's up there saying that I got to be alive. Like I am alive. Thank you, God.
You know what? I have the same type of thought process. You saying whoever's up there, I'm basically the same way because I see things completely different now. So I understand what you're saying by that. But we're almost close to the end of the show. But I do have some more comments on Instagram. It looks like Instagram wanted to talk more than YouTube did. So hey, Instagram wanted. Instagram, we have a couple more from Sandra, and we also have someone from Vincent. She said, "Oh, Greg, you both are the stinking best." I don't know why she called it stinking. I guess that's her terminology that she has. But thank you, Sandra.
Thinking that.
And we got one more from Supervillain IG. He says, "I know you will get there too because I recently saw you riding a horse, which scares me so much, even more before my rupture. You ride horses?"
Okay. Yes, I rode horses prior to my stroke. And then I had my stroke, and then I was 4 years post-stroke, and for my alive anniversary, I went and rode a horse, which was a bit difficult, but once I was on, it was it was like I was back in the saddle, literally. But yeah, I ride horses.
No, that's an interesting thing. Before we get to the hot seat question, I just want you to talk about that because a lot of times we don't do things because we think we can't, and then we actually do it, and I'm like, oh, I was holding myself back.
Yeah.
Can you explain that thought process to people so they can understand that sometimes you got to just try to see if you can or not. And if it's not going to work, it's okay. Can you break that down?
Yep. Yeah. So I think that this is where I say YOLT, like YOLO. Like it anything that I used to be able to do, I can still do. Might be a little different, might have to modify it a little, but I can do everything I can do, you know? And I just think that we are all capable of doing things, whether I have the most difficult time putting my hair up. I can't put my hair up yet in a ponytail, but soon I will be able to. But I'll put my hair up in a clip. Um, there are a few things that I've had to modify, but I think that anything I could do before, I can do now. Maybe different, but I can still do it.
I love that mentality. I love that mentality. All right, it's time. We are at the end of our show, so it's time for our hot seat questions. I have 4 questions for you, and these 4 questions,
Ready.
these 4 questions are going to be testing your will and your strength. No, they're not. No, I'm playing. But these hot seat questions are for people to understand about your life and what really makes you tick. So I want you to give me your best answers, and after you finish with the answer, just say,
Listen to my
look at that, we got
sound.
some more information coming in before the hot seat questions. So let my producer bring that in before I bring in the hot seat questions. I believe we already put Brian up there, but Brian is saying me too. Each day is a gift. Yeah, we do agree with you on that.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yep.
I let my producer do what she wanted to do. So now we're back. So the hot seat questions, when you're done with your hot seat question, just say AVM superhero, I'm ready for my next question. And then you only have 4. So after your 4th question, I just want you to close out the show. All right.
Okay.
So after these questions, I'm gone. You close out. But everybody, I just
Okay.
want to thank you guys so much. And like I said, this show is dedicated to my friend Richard Oates. He died on the 2nd of October. He was a very close friend of mine. He was, I don't know if you ever met a person that is friends with every one of your siblings. They can have individual conversation with each one of your siblings. And I never met a person like that before. So I really cherish this person. He is a very good friend of mine. He always will be in my heart. This show is dedicated to you. I love you, Rich. To the Oates family, my condolences. And next week we will have Vincent. He'll be on our show to do our 3rd episode. So now it's time for our hot seat questions. Morgan, are you ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
Question number 1. Question number 1 is this. Did you know what an AVM was before it happened to you?
Yes. So prior to my stroke, when I was just 22 years old, I had found out about this AVM when I was 18, and I was in school, and I was pulled off the stage and hit my head. So, yep, I knew what it was.
Morgan, you didn't say AVM superhero. I'm ready for my next question.
Oh, AVM superhero. I'm ready for the next question.
All right, cool. Question number 2. Question number 2 states this. What is the hardest part of your life now?
I think the hardest part of my life right now is learning to live fully while still healing from my AVM and stroke. Some days my body reminds me of what I've been through, but other days it surprises me, like with how strong it's become. Like I'll be able to move my hand more, or I'll be able to walk faster. So I'm learning to honor both, um, to celebrate the progress and accept the slow days. AVM superhero, I'm ready for the next question.
I love it. I love it. All right. Here's question number 3. Question number 3 states, what do you want people to take from this interview?
I just want people to take away that no matter what happens, even something as big as me having an AVM or a stroke, that life can still be amazing and it could still be full of meaning and joy. And it might look different, but it doesn't mean that it's over. It's just you have to modify it, you have to rebuild, you have to heal, um, and you can still create something beautiful. It's just how you look at it. AVM superhero, I'm ready for the next question.
All right, here's your fourth and final question. Like I said, after this, close out the show, okay?
Okay.
Question number 4. What did the threat of death teach you?
The threat of death taught me to live my life, to be alive, to act alive. This is why I have the tattoo on my wrist that says alive. I am just so grateful to be breathing, laughing, giggling, just connecting with people that I love. It stripped away all of the noise and it really showed me that I can be grateful and yeah, and it showed me what actually matters. So I am so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Greg. And my Facebook is Living with an AVM. My Instagram is at Living with an AVM. And my TikTok is at Living with an AVM. My book will be coming out on Amazon on October 18th. It's called Stroke Warrior. See ya.